Hello and welcome to this session on creating an impact report. My name is Karen and I work for BVSC as part of the Impact in Action project. My project is kindly funded by the City of London Corporation's charity City Bridge Trust, and I offer a range of support which you can check out look more by pausing now. For those of you who have done my 7 impact sessions, you'll see how this fits into the framework that we work on over the different weeks. And this section is about how to report and use all the data that you've been monitoring and evaluating, and how to share that out with the right people. So I'm going to look at a couple of types of impact report, and if you click on the link here, you'll be able to see a 142-page impact report from Charlton Athletic Community Trust, and it's a very research-driven piece of work. There's lots of detail in there around their theory of change and so forth, and so for some that's really great, they can really dig into that. They've also got a summary version, and the summary version is more akin to this report from BVSC, which is just 3 pages long. As you can see, it's very visual, and it's just giving a flavour of some of the ideas that we want to get across. So how do you decide what report you want to do? I would be asking these things with the question marks. So and the table here is just an example. Okay, so for example, I'm thinking about my audience. If I had a current funder who requested a report in this kind of format, I would go back to them and check, either on their website or verbally, you know, what kind of report are you looking for? What contents are you looking for? And I'd understand the purpose of that. So they've funded a pilot and they want to see whether they can upscale. So the question of the report may be answering is this project successful and can it be scaled up? So these are the kind of purposes that they may have. They may be wanting to see what the progress is against your outcome and impact indicators. Your key messages will be different from other things in this case. So for example, you might want to have the key message that we have achieved 3 out of the 4 outcomes and 1 unexpected outcome. Analysis suggests we are on track to achieving impact targets. So you would decide on your key messages. It doesn't have to be those things, that's just an example. And then that would help you to determine what kind of impact report. And in this case, they want to dig in deep, they want lots of detail and information, they want lots of evidence as well. And so a long version report would, I suggest, be the way to go here. Whereas an individual giver, they've got less of a stake in it, they're probably going to be giving less. In this example they are, and they just want to know, you know, where is their £10 gone? Has their money been well spent? Now, if you sent them a 142-page document, a paper document, you posted it, they might be a little bit annoyed that you'd spent money on sending that kind of report. So they just want to have that overall sense of, you know, these people are trustworthy, they're using the money well, they're bringing about good change. So the key message, their investment has changed people's lives. And then in that case, a short report with the option to find out more, likely to be more visually appealing with summaries, infographics or photos. I've taken this from a 1-page wonder that I've done that kind of goes with this micro training. So do check that out because it's got lots of the links on it and stuff like that. So the main thing across all of this is making sure that your approach is proportional, that you aren't sending a big long report to a stakeholder that only has a very basic need for information, whereas somebody with an organisation with a bigger stake in your work would want to delve in deeper. So yeah, proportionality, as in so many areas in impact, is the watchword. It's also helpful to think about what period you want the impact report to cover. So impact, as you know from the 7 impact sessions, impact is a longer term goal that others feed into. So say if you're doing an impact report for 1 year, you would probably be dealing with some years prior to that to give the context, you know. But it may be that you want to do an impact report every few years so that you can look at that data all together and you're gathering that up all in one place. So have a think about what period you're going to primarily focus on, you know, mainly this year but with a little bit of previous years, or no, this is a 3-year report and we're reporting on all of those 3 years. Your outcomes and outputs are shorter term generally, and so you'll be monitoring intervals and evaluating those. So, you know, where does that fit in as well with, you know, what period you're covering? All of the above will probably form some of your report, and you may want to do it annually. So you may want to do an annual impact report. You may call it an impact report instead of an annual report. And or you might want to lift some of this information and put it into your annual accounts as well. So it does depend a little bit on what kind of thing you're going to go for, but just think about how you can reuse this information. So thinking about the structure, we've got a long report here, a long report structure here. I'm not going to read it all out, you can pause it if you need to, but there's some links there as to where I got some of this information from, and I would say that the Inspiring Impact link is particularly good, the checklist, if you scroll down the page once you follow that link. Now, even if you're going to do a short report, it's worth looking at the structure of the long report to decide which things you want to draw out, which things suit your audience, suit your purpose. So I would suggest that this is a very nice summary that could be fitted into an impact report. There's flex on this, so you decide, but this is just quite a nice summary. So for those of you who have been to my Livening Up Your Data session, one of the 7 impact sessions, or seen it on demand on videos or the booklet format, you might have seen this already, but when you do start to work on your data visualization, i.e. putting stuff into icons or infographics, it's worth checking that you've got the right kind of tool for the job, the right pie chart or bar chart or whatever that fits your data, so that you're not accidentally giving a wrong impression. Also worth thinking about, where are you going to disseminate your impact report to? We don't want this to sit in archives, so can it go on your website? Have you got social media options? Could you turn it into a slide version at your AGM? Can parts of it go into your annual accounts? When you're networking, do you have a copy with you? Is it emailed to various stakeholders? So lots of other training available. Here's some from Superhighways. You can pause here if you need to. Some here from the Coalition for Efficiency. And also just to flag that I provide one-to-one funding discussions if you've got an application coming up that you want to show me, or if you've had one that didn't succeed and you'd like some ideas about. And if you could please fill this out, I use the data to improve my work for funders and for marketing purposes. There's more information once you click the link.